Good morning. I'm Russ Mitchell, and welcome to 7 Minutes. Playhouse Square, truly one of the jewels of Cleveland, the second largest performing arts center in the country, only behind Lincoln Center in New York, with more than 1,000 annual performances and 1.1 million attendees every year. As of last week, this amazing treasure has a new president and CEO. She's Gina Vernaci, and she joined us now for 7 Minutes. Gina, thank you very much for having us today in your house here at the State Theater.
Isn't this a great house? You know, all of them have such wonderful personalities that I think are somewhat informed by the architecture, and there are just little details in here that are so beautiful. The sweep of the staircase and you know, the surround of the chandelier is such a wonderful experience.
And this was a movie theater at one time, right?
Yeah, the theaters were created for movies and vaudeville in the 20s.
Wow. Okay, we could spend 25 hours talking about the history here, but let's move on and talk about you, Gina Vernaci.
Well, thank you.
And again, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud.
As we do this interview, it is Tuesday, July the 2nd. You took over July the 1st. So how's it going so far?
So far, people are taking my phone calls. It's great. But you know, it's strange and wonderful to step into the position. This is an organization that I absolutely love as I start my 35th year at Playhouse Square in a city that I adore. Cleveland has it all. But to finally be in that leadership position is such a tremendous honor. It's humbling. It's exciting.
Well, let me ask you about that. Again, you've been here for 35 years. Started as an intern back in 1984. If someone had pulled you aside in 1984 and said, Gina, one day you're going to be running this joint, what would you have said?
I sure hope so.
Really? That was the goal?
Well, you know, I'm Italian, so Italians are always in charge, right? So it's somewhat in my personality. But when I walked in here in 1984, and not all the theaters were renovated, I so believed in the dream of what this could be, that whatever I could do that was going to be useful to Playhouse Square, useful to Cleveland, Ohio, I was in.
Let's go back to St. Louis, where you're from, or I'm from.
And you're from,
and
that's
I'm
right.
from as well. I wonder, what got you interested in theater to begin with? Was it a moment? Was it something you saw? Was it an experience? How would you describe it?
Oh, it was absolutely an experience. I grew up in St. Louis, going to the Muni, a big 11,000 seat outdoor theater, and the excitement of being in that space and seeing live shows and feeling so energized. Even as a small child, I wanted to go every night. My mom, of course, didn't think that was possible, but just being a part of that, I loved everything about it.
And the rest, as they say, is history. As you start your tenure here as president and CEO, taking over from the legendary Art Falco, what do you want to bring to the job?
Well, what I would like to bring to the job is, first of all, the chance to build on success. It's such a great gift to be able to do that. Playhouse Square has a long history of balancing our budget, doing the things we say we're going to do, and delivering on all of those things on behalf of the community. But now I see that there's a chance to just build on that, to think about what we might do for the district in order to make this a place that you really want to come and just hang around because it's beautiful and it's inviting outside. I'm very interested in our role as an advocate. We're the second largest center in America, and our role in a very a community that's so blessed to have so many options for the performing arts, and what's our role to be helpful with that?
A lot of things are clearly going on. If you walk down here, I guess most visibly to the naked eye, it's the Lumen apartment building across the street, another Playhouse Square production. Why was it so important for Playhouse Square to be a part of that, to be the engine behind that?
You know, it was a long, long dream for Playhouse Square. Real estate has been a part of our soul and our DNA for 40 years. As you know, Walt Disney, when he was building Disneyland, his regret was not owning the land around it, so he couldn't control the experience. And so visionaries 40 years ago bought little plots of land, and Art and his vision added on to that. And this is really like the jewel in the crown, to build something that is going to be a luxury high-rise right in the heart of this city. I think it is so beautiful that there's a 400-foot crane across the street from where the Wrecking Ball once stood to tear these theaters down. I mean, what a great story about how the arts in a city and a community community have worked together.
It's truly an amazing story. Some of the titles you've had here over the years: Vice President of Theatricals, Senior Vice President of Operations, Executive Producer. I've often wondered, you and I have talked about this, when it comes to picking a show, picking a show to come here, what's the science behind that? Some are obvious, like Hamilton or My Fair Lady, but for those that are maybe on the bubble, what do you think about?
Well, the things that you think about are those qualities in a show that showcase the craftsmanship of what it takes to make a good Broadway show. It could be the choreography, it could be the costume design, it could be the writing, the light, the orchestration. You want to make sure you're delivering that throughout the season, so you feel like you're taking the entire audience with you on a journey. And there are obvious titles, like you said, Dear Evan Hansen was just here.
Right.
Come From Away is coming up, which is such a beautiful story. And you also like to have a piece that challenges the audience a little bit, stretches them a bit. So in the course of the journey of the KeyBank Broadway series, there are 7 great experiences right here from Cleveland, Ohio.
In addition to everything else you do, I know you're a Tony voter. You're the Vice Road Chair of the Broadway League, which takes you to New York and elsewhere, seeing shows, meeting with producers and behind the scenes and stuff like that. When it comes to the business of theater, how have things changed since you started in this business?
Well, the internet has changed a lot about just how you are in contact with your audience. The surge of people with the Hamilton on sale, 86,000 people at once were trying to connect to purchase tickets. I mean, that has changed dramatically. But the actual business of it, the making of it, actually probably hasn't changed that much. But however, what is still essential is that it is show business. It's not show hobby, it's show business. So the business part of it has to work, and we are very diligent about the choices we make, how affordable we price the tickets so that everyone can come here and enjoy a show. And that has remained a part of what Playhouse Square is here to do for a long time.
I've got about a minute and a half left, a couple of quick points when it gets to you. You've touched on this, obviously, and you can tell by talking to you that you love this place. Why is this so special to you, Playhouse Square?
At Playhouse Square, you make a difference. You know, Playhouse Square makes a difference in the lives of people every day. People save their money to come here. They're creating experiences for their children. I always tell people that, you know, your children won't remember what they received for their 10th birthday. They'll never, ever forget coming to the theater with their families. That's a lifelong gift. And to think that we have a part of that magic making is just so electrifying to me.
Favorite show, musical or play over the years?
The next one.
The next one, very good answer. I know you're not going to answer this, but I got to ask you. I can't get out of here without asking you. Of course, you announced in February the 1920 season, the 2021 season, of course, coming up. Can you give us a hint? What could we see in the next 18 months here at Playhouse Square?
Okay, so here's what you're going to see. The very best of Broadway. Right here at Playhouse Square.
You're good.
Thank you.
We talked about politics. You tell me you're not running for mayor, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Well, I am not running for mayor, but I do love the arts. I love what I do. Cleveland is a fabulous city, and Playhouse Square is such a jewel in the crown. This would not happen anywhere else but in Cleveland, Ohio.
We are incredibly lucky.
We are all blessed.
Incredibly lucky to have you as well, Gina Vernaci.
Oh,
it is always a pleasure, always a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. And that is all for this week. See you next time for 7 Minutes. Have a great day.
To watch this segment again or see previous editions of 7 Minutes with Russ Mitchell, please go to WKYC.com.